Good morning, everybody. It's Pastor John with another edition of Monday Morning Quarterback. So yesterday, the sort of theme of the sermon was the idea that God's love and grace are for all people. Okay, kind of a no-brainer. But everyone does not experience God's love and grace the same way. Now, again, on the face of it, those statements don't seem that anything really that deep or rich or certainly or not controversial. But I want to unpack that statement a little bit because in the sermon, hopefully there's more meat attached to it. But there's a part of that statement that I didn't really get to express in the sermon, but that I think is important. So I'll remind you again, God's love and grace are for all people, but everyone does not experience God's love and grace the same way. Now, what I essentially went on to say in the sermon is that salvation itself is a different experience for different people, depending on what they bring to their encounter with God, or what baggage they bring, what blessing they bring, whatever, where they are. The way I experience God's salvation is different than the way someone else experiences God's salvation. So it's okay. So the reason that I'm stressing this is because one of the things that I'm discovering as I get older and as I study more, but also that I experience more and I learn more, is that we tend to put Christ in certain boxes, theological boxes, doctrinal boxes, whatever. And those boxes come to define our experience of Christ. And what I'm really realizing is that it's really important that we begin to understand that all of our doctrines are meant to serve the purpose of the lived experience of God's love and grace. So I said in the sermon, God's love and grace are not theological ideas. They are a lived experience. And what that means is a lived experience is something that you'll never actually be able to describe or define. It's just something that you experience and that you come to know internally. And I think that the church would, the church would do well for a variety of reasons if we started thinking of salvation in that way. If we started thinking of salvation not as a doctrine that says, I do these steps, I pass this test, I get to go into this reward, which is heaven when I die. Quite honestly, what a mealy-mouth definition of salvation. Salvation means something different to every person that experiences it, because every person brings a different experience to it. Salvation is a lived experience, which means by its very nature, it cannot be reduced to theological definition. I feel sometimes like in the 1988 U2 album, Rattle and Hum, the U2 was singing the old Beatles song, Helter Skelter. And they recorded it live in concert, and Bono, the lead singer, said, before they started singing the song, this is a song that Charles Manson stole from the Beatles, and we're stealing it back. Sometimes I feel, at the risk of sounding a little grandiose, sometimes I feel like Bono and U2, salvation is a word that the evangelicals stole, and I'm stealing it back, But that's really kind of the way it feels sometimes, because they've said, here it is. This is the one definition. This is the one box that you know, quite likely the most remarkable, wondrous experience of human history, of a person's life, but also of humankind. Salvation. You know, one of the most crazy things to ever happen. And then they want to say, we're going to put it in this box. And if you don't fit in this box, then that's not what you're experiencing. I just don't think that's the way it goes. I think that if it's a lived experience, it has to be different for every person that experiences, because they bring their experience to it. But at the other end is always the love and grace of God in Jesus Christ. It's always there. And that, my friends, is the common link. That is what makes it salvation in the first place. Yeah. They stole the word salvation, and I'm stealing it back. Have a great week, my friends. God bless.